What up, yo? It's your boy, yo, Onslaught Tree, man. We back with another video for y'all, man. Yo, listen, man. One of the highly asked questions that I get all the times, sent in my DMs, sent on the comments, messages being sent over to 16 bars, emails being sent out to me. The question I get asked all the time, yo, Onslaught, who's the top 5 dead or alive? Who's the top 5 MCs of all time? Who's the best 5 MCs ever? Who's the best rappers? Who's the best? Listen, I get that question asked 10,000 times, man. And listen, man, I get it, man. We all competitive. We all want to know who is the best ever. We all got our favorites, all right? I've been listening to music since the early 80s. 70s I was still young, but early 80s I started really getting into hip-hop, getting into rap music in Trinidad and Tobago. One of my favorite artists of all time hearing back in Trinidad was Roxanne Shante. Alright, so we used to hear that Roxanne's Revenge down there in Trinidad and Tobago, man. And that song just blew me away when I first heard it. Another ill rapper we used to hear a lot in Trinidad and Tobago was Slick Rick. Alright, so yo, I get that question asked all the time. Who's the top 5 MCs of all time? But listen, we're going to do it a little different over here, all right? Today, we're going to talk about who are the top 4 Mount Rushmore rappers of all time. All right? No top 5. We're going to bring it down to 4. This is the Mount Rushmore of hip-hop, all right? And as always, I need y'all to get in them comments down below, man. Y'all been wilding out in the comments lately, but it's all good. All the new hip-hop heads, just subscribing to the channel, please drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think about this video. All my existing old school hip hop heads, man, that's been riding out with us, I need y'all to hit them comments down below. Let me know how y'all feel about this list right here. All right, let's get up into it, man. This right here, top 4. This is the Mount Rushmore of hip hop. First up, we're going to give you this rapper right here. He may be the most influential rapper we have had, influential hip hop artist we've ever had all time. There may be none better than making memorable songs, having an amazing flow on his tracks. And let's not talk about just the USA. This guy, he has worldwide appeal. People all over the world know his name, got his tattoos, still play his songs to this day. This guy has at least 3 classic albums under his belt, and he also has one of the top 5 diss tracks of all times. If this artist right here is not in your top 5 hip-hop artists of all times, listen, man, I ain't even trying to hear you, man. Yo, listen, man. First up, Mount Rushmore, the first slot goes to none other than Tupac Shakur. What else can I say about Tupac, man? Listen, Tupac has been gone from us since the late 90s, and till this day, Tupac's music still lives prevalent. You can still listen to Tupac's music today, and sometimes you may even be tricked that his music was released in 2023 as of this year right now. He has some of the most memorable tracks ever. All right, go listen to Tupac's resume if you haven't. Number 1 spot on the Mount Rushmore goes to Tupac Shakur. Number 2 on the Mount Rushmore, this guy right here, he has one of the illest flows you have ever heard. Master of flow. You listen to this guy rhyme, he just be, like they say, he just rides on the beat, man. It's like a surfer surfing on the waves. He's just like carrying it. This guy right here, he has some of the most memorable hip-hop tracks of all times. You put on some of his songs right now, oh man, it takes you exactly back to where you were when these songs were first released. Some of the most memorable tracks you have ever heard. One of the most important things about hip-hop is being able to tell memorable hip-hop stories, intriguing hip-hop stories. This guy right here had that in spades. He was one of the greatest storytellers of all time. You listen to some of his opening tracks on his albums, some of the closing tracks on his albums, makes you felt like you were right there. This guy right here, man, listen, man, when you talk about carrying a coast on his back, he had the whole East Coast on his back. His music also has great lasting appeal. Okay, again, this is one of those MCs that you put his music on today, it's just like timeless music. The tracks, the beats, his flow, his production on the track, it's just just the storytelling on the albums, making a complete album from top to bottom. This guy has a classic album under his belt, and there are some people out there that would say that he has 2 classic albums. Number 2 spot on the Mount Rushmore goes to none other, rest in peace, to the Notorious B.I.G. What else can be said about Notorious B.I.G., man? Rest in peace, B.I.G. Rest in peace to Tupac also. But Notorious B.I.G. was just one of those MCs feared by many in the 90s because of his flow, the classic songs he was releasing. His first album drop, you could throw the album on from top to bottom. There are no skippable tracks on the Ready to Die album. So rest in peace to Notorious B.I.G. Number 2 slot on the Mount Rushmore goes to B.I.G. Number 3 spot on the Mount Rushmore, this rapper right here, he may be the most influential when it comes to the hip-hop culture. When it comes to eating, breathing, bleeding hip-hop. When you think about bleeding, being someone from hip-hop, from the graffiti days, from the breakdancing days, telling amazing stories, living that grimy life, just that New York City type rhyming. This MC right here exuberates that in spades. With over 15 albums under his belt, you can definitely throw in a whole bunch of classic albums under his resume, all right? And when it comes to Timeless Classic, he has Timeless Classic lined up for you. And this is another one of those MCs that has just great longevity. One of the leaders of the boom bap rap era. And if you're talking about diss tracks, again, he may have one of the top 5 diss tracks of all time as well. Number 3 on the Mount Rushmore slot goes to no one else than the Blast Master, KRS-One. KRS-One is just hip-hop, man. When you say his name and you go listen to his music, you hear him talk, you see the things he speak of, the type of influence he had on the rap game. You can say KRS-One bleeds hip-hop. You go look into the book of hip-hop, KRS-One's face should be right up there on the top with some of the best. All right, very, very feared by a lot of MCs in this time. Great battle rapper. Again, like I said, he has one of the top 5 diss tracks of all times. Go check it out. And KRS-One is just one of those MCs that you just don't want to mess with, man. Number 3 on the Mount Rushmore is KRS-One. Number 4 on the Mount Rushmore of hip-hop. Listen, man, when you talk about this guy right here, listen. Longevity, check. Classic rap songs, check. Classic rap albums, check, 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 check. Amazing features on other artists' tracks, check. Timeless club bangers, check. Top 5 diss song, check. Not a lot of your favorite MCs held a strong hold on the rap radio station. This guy right here, he had a stranglehold on the radio stations for at least 4 to 5 years. All right, he was not to be played with when it comes to touching every single box you want to check off when it comes to being MC, having amazing rhymes, having bars, having great flow, knowing how to pick great production for your songs, longevity, classic albums, classic diss songs. This guy right here, he checks every box. So yo, number 4 on the Mount Rushmore of hip hop goes to none other than the New York native, Brooklyn in the building, Jay-Z. There's not a lot of hip-hop artists that have the longevity that Jay-Z's had. There's not a lot of hip-hop artists that have the amount of classic albums that Jay-Z has. There's not a lot of artists that touches every single checkbox when it comes to rapping, when it comes to for the ladies, when it comes to the clubs, when it comes to hardcore hip-hop, when it comes to just memorable songs. There's not a lot of artists that touches all those boxes. Jay-Z does that. And like I said before, when it comes to here in New York City, there was a lot of artists that he put on the shelf here in New York City, all right? Rest in peace, Mobb Deep. So, yo, that's it. That's the Mount Rushmore of hip-hop right there. Tupac Shakur, the Notorious B.I.G., the Blastmaster KRS-One, and Jay-Z. Y'all know how it is, man. Hit that comment section down below. Let me know how you'll feel about this. Let me know who's your Mount Rushmore of hip-hop. It's your boy, Onslaught Tree. I'm up out of here, yo. Peace.
Up from the 36 chambers.